Welcome to Road to Detailing. There is a lot to cover today, so let's start by cleaning the wheels and arches using Stjarnagloss First, that is a ready-to-use citrus spray cleaner and suggested to be used on areas where heavy dirt laid down. So, this wheel is going to be a good indicator what this product really capable of. As you can see, the application is very easy. Spray that on the surface and let it dwell for at least a minute or two. Generally, first meant to be a spray on, leave and rinse of product, and that's exactly what you will see once I move on from the wheels. But here, I want to give the wheels, tires and arches a thorough scrub, so for the agitation I put a few more squirts on the brush and I only have a bucket of fresh water for keeping the brushes clean by rinsing them off. It is very nice to see how good First actually foams up on agitation, and that makes the whole user experience more enjoyable. On the tire, it doesn't seem to be the foamiest product of all, but the level of browning coming off the tire wall is outstanding and paired with any dedicated tire cleaner I have used so far, and I'm very impressed of seeing this. Talking about dedicated cleaners, make sure to stick around until the very end, where I will share a few useful suggestions about which product I would use in which scenario. If you follow me since a while, you know that I hate cleaning my car's carpet wheel arches, but the amount of dirt being released once the water hits the surface make this whole job worse to do it. With that being said, I had an idea to change things up a bit on the next wheel, where I apply Stjarnagloss Hjul, that is not your average color changing wheel cleaner, because there is a few interesting twists, such as Hjul contains soap to remove road grime, and it includes a small amount of solvent to soften off tar spots, and doing all these by being pH neutral, meaning you can use it with some of the more sensitive materials. Furthermore, you can use it as fallout remover on the bodywork, which I'm going to do on the next video, where you can see a whole decontamination wash of the car. As you can see by the purple reaction, Hjul attacks brake dust particles pretty fast, and this is the time for a good raspberry ripple. I like to use a foamy solution out of my IK pump sprayer to have an extra layer applied for better lubricity, as well as give the cleaner for a longer dwelling time. In the 1.5 foamer, I have 20 ml of Stjarnagloss Snö with water filled all the way up, and while it gives me extra working time, let's agitate the surface on the same way as before. On the tire here, I also apply First as a second hit, and as you can see, Hjul with Snö did a great job because there is really not much to be left to remove. Okay, but which one to use then on wheels? As you could see, First is an excellent choice for regular washes, and Hjul either can be a great addition for making sure you remove all remaining brake dust components that either missed or too much for First. And this is exactly what you can see on screen now. Or you can use Hjul every once in a while, especially if you haven't been able to tackle your wheels since a long time. But there is no reason to use Hjul all the time yet. At the end of the day, it really depends on your circumstances. With that said, it's time to keep moving forward with the pre-wash of bodywork. And as you can see, there is a huge amount of stubborn baked on dirt which have been left by me from the Sahara dust a few weeks ago, where I tried to remove some of them dust in a touchless manner, but you can tell I haven't done a great job and my car has been left with some sort of stains for such a long time that I believe we'll need a hands-on approach to being fully removed. Other than that, the whole car has a very thin layer of dust on top of that. So, I have decided to give First and Snö a few spot checks that will help to determine which one I should use in my exact scenario. Let's start with First and see if that will be able to remove hard-dried box bodies or won't. After spraying it on, I let First welling for at around 2 minutes, then started to rinse that off, and as you can see, it did a pretty good job. It removed the vast majority of these kind of contaminants that is very impressive in my personal opinion. Okay, now let's check the performance of both Snö and First side by side. On the right side of the panel, I have 100 ml of Snö with 900 ml of water in the MTM Hydro PF22 foam cannon, and after 4 minutes of dwelling time, I apply First to the left side of the panel, then let them both dwell for another 2 minutes. After all these have done, I left the panel fully air dry and now check the results. It's a bit hard to give you exactly what I personally experienced, but what we can see here is that First was able to handle more of that layer of traffic film compared to Snö, while Snö did what we can expect from a pH neutral snow foam, plus stayed on the panel very nicely. During these two spot checks, I felt First really has that 2 minutes borderline before starting to dry out, yet it has excellent strength to handle more stubborn dirt. So, because of these reasons, plus I don't want a TFR kind product dry on the surface, I use First sparingly around the lower parts of the car and will cover that with Snö to allow First a longer time to act. Talking about application, yes, I spray First sparingly around the car, but I don't want to waste any of the product, so I only cover the lower sections of the car, which by the way, Stjarnagloss recommends as well. First also contains natural orange oil, and it doesn't just make the product strong, but has a very pleasant citrusy smell, alongside with a vibrant pink color and sexy design that I really fell into. And there is no difference in case of Snö, where you got the same glamour with the design, color and scent, which might matters for only some of us, but I'm being one of those. And the sweet coconut scent paired up with Snow is lovely, even for a person like me who doesn't dig for coconut on a daily basis. Other than that, the density of Stjarnagloss Snö is one of the best what I've seen so far, because this is the kind of coverage what I'm personally looking for, and it comes straight out of the cannon without adjusting anything. As I mentioned before, I use 100 ml product to 900 ml water in the cannon, that is more likely 1 to 9 instead of 1 to 10, so switch now, and you can see the same happens in case of using 45 ml to 455 ml, aka 1 to 10 dilution. The dwelling time of Snö easily can be up from 6 to 10 minutes in the climate I live. Also, it doesn't dry off that quickly I experienced from others. For me, this is the biggest advantage of Stjarnagloss Snö. Yes, it's definitely not the strongest pre-wash solution, but it doesn't want to be one either. However, for lightly soiled vehicles and regularly maintained cars where you only have a thin layer of dust, or you don't want to worry about things like direct sunlight, this might be the snow foam to look for. Also, one other thing to mention here, using a pH neutral foam is definitely a safer option in relation of any kind of protection applied compared to stronger pre-washes like TFRs. But let's be honest, when you have a decent protection applied, you don't really in need of use something like First, as Snö will handle that surface just as great and safe. So, which one to choose? I don't think there is a right or wrong choice with these. The real question is more likely, what do you need to handle? First is a fairly strong product and be a good partner in case of heavily soiled surface, or when you need that extra bite, while Snow can be a good partner to start with on a regular basis for the weekly maintenance wash. In case of my scenario, applying both at the same time seemed to be the way to go, hence I needed to remove more than just a light layer of dust. However, I still need to get rid of the stains I showed you before, and I need a good agitation by the contact wash. On the next video, you can see the whole decontamination process with Stjarnagloss Hjul, Tyres and many more, so make sure to subscribe, hit the bell and see you there. Happy cleaning!